Now, I want to point one thing out here, though. So each one of you have said the last person that you've been with has been you met through friends. That's like exceptionally rare right now, because when you look at the stats, the number one way that men and women meet, of course, is online through Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, that kind of stuff. What's been on the decline is meeting your next boyfriend, maybe your husband, via the church, through your family, through your friends, through school, through work. All of that's been on the decline really since about 2010. And then the one thing that's been spiking, of course, has been online dating. All right. Yeah. So hear me out. I think here's a theory for you. Tell me if I'm wrong about this. The higher the level of attractiveness of the woman, the more likely it is that she will meet that guy through friends, as opposed to like the more average woman is going to be the one that is going to be on Tinder. That's going to make those hookups on there. Do you think that's
one more time?
Do you think that's plausible?
The average?
Well, so more elite level women, like let's just say very attractive women, don't meet men through. They meet them through friends. Clearly,
exactly. Yeah, that's exactly my point.
Rather than the average woman who is statistically meeting the guys that they're with through Tinder. So
I don't think the average woman meets guys through Tinder. I really don't. I still think it's through normal.
I've got the stats.
The average girl. I think the average girl meets guys through social media, through internet.
Yeah, okay.
So when you count,
Instagram,
I think if we were to count Facebook and Instagram together,
is the number one
it's
online
10 times more than it would be Bumble, Tinder, and Hinge together. I think Instagram alone would be 10 times more. Just when you look at none of those three dating apps have a billion active users, and Instagram has 2 billion. I don't think it's even close.
So let me clarify why am I making this theory here, is because what I think is a lot of guys see those stats and they see that the average woman is meeting the average guy online. And so what I have found out is through very attractive women say, well, he had the balls to come up and actually approach me. He had the balls to actually say, hey, well, let's go be friends, go see a show or something together. He actually, and that right now I think is what's called playing to the meta, right? Everybody else is doing Tinder and Hinge and Bumble, and it'd be so nice if a guy would just have the sack up and ask me out on a date kind of thing. That becomes novel.
Yeah, most of the guys that I dated, I told them to fuck off so many times, but they were consistent. They were persistent. So I liked that. I was like, okay, I've told you to fuck off. You're still around. I'll give you a shot.
Yeah, it's like I always say, it's like when it comes to men, it's like if you want me, come and get me.
Right.
Like make it known.
Yeah.
That's some alpha shit. Like if you want me, come and
I was going to say that's the number one thing.
Wait, you saying that or he's saying that?
No, I'm saying if he wants me,
for sure, you got to put in some effort. For sure.
Some effort.
Yeah, but there is still a minimum level of height, physical attractiveness, level of charisma
100%.
that he has to meet. This is one of the things, because girls leave these fucking weird signals that really throw dudes off when they're like, yeah, I just care that he treats me well, and it's okay if he has a dad bod. And then I look at who you date, and I'm like, no, that linebacker you're dating doesn't have a dad bod. You're saying shit that isn't true, and it's really frustrating for dudes. It's really frustrating. Do you understand how frustrating it is for men? I remember when I had Elizabeth Chevalier on here on my podcast, and she's telling me all these qualities of men that she wants to date, and then she talks about her ex, and he's like, yeah, he's a narcissist. I'm like, wait, you just told me the fucking qualities of the man you want to date, and the guy that you're dating is none of those things. And I was like, just stop for a second. Be a man listening to you right now. Do you understand how confusing this is and how fucking frustrating this is? Listening to you guys tell us what you want in a man and then going after fucking Chad from Thunder from Down Under. Do you understand the problem?
Okay.
Who fucking cheats you? I'm sorry, not actually Chad. Shout out to Chad. There's a dude, hold on. Sorry. There's a guy, no, hold on, stop. There's a guy named Chad who works with Thunder from Down Under. I love you, man. I'm sorry, bro. He's a great guy.
Really
He's a great guy. I'm sorry. So hold on. Sorry. In the manosphere, they say Chad Thunder. Chad is it's just a name for a Karen. You know what a Karen is? A Chad is just a good looking guy. Shout out to Chad. I like Chad. There is a guy named Chad who works for Thunder from Down Under. Yes.
Giga Chad.
Yes. It's Masha's ex. Yes, for sure. Okay, man. Sorry, my bad, Chad. As soon as I said it, came out of my mouth. Chad from
Well, I tell you. So, what you're saying about
Chippendales.
how confusing this shit is what happens then is when you hear very exceptionally attractive women say oh yeah, I'm into the dad bod, and you know damn well that they're really not into it. I think it was on our very first show. We were sitting here. I was making this comparison. I was saying, what calendar sells the most? Is it the Thunder from Down Under calendar or Chippendales calendar, or is it the dad bod calendar, which one outsells the other one when it really comes down to it. And the honest truth is it's going to be the hot guy and the hot fireman calendar is going to be what's going to outsell. So there is an arousal factor that I think that we kind of just have to clear the air and just like call bullshit, cut the shit kind of thing. But so when we're talking about like the dad bod thing, or we're talking about like, oh yeah, I'm really into a guy who's into puppy dogs and rainbows and he has to be funny and everything. There's that aspect where guys realize that, okay, maybe there's something to that, but for the most part, what they're seeing online is they're seeing like beautiful women getting with beautiful guys, right? So when I see a guy like Chris Williamson, for example, trying to explain away why women are really actually into the dad bod because he's a better bet for their children's future, and he's less likely to go cheat because he's not as attractive to other women, and so therefore they feel safer and comfortable with this guy because they know that not very many other women want to get with that guy, and so it's like dads versus cads, right? It's like, and so what gets me is like a guy who looks like Chris Williamson, who, by the way, if you ever see his site, it's like his main splash page is him with like a V taper, and he's like a 6-pack abs, looks like he's a bodybuilder kind of guy. He was on like a Paradise Island or Total Drama Island or whatever the fuck it was back in the day, and now he's got a podcast, and he has people on like Rob Henderson, like Dr. David Buss has been on his show. And I'm like, why are you promoting this shit? Because the guys already don't believe this stuff, but now you're buying into this and then making content developed because you have bought into this bullshit.
He's bought into the bullshit of not looks money status? Is that what you're saying?
No, he's bought into the bullshit that there's actually something to the attraction factor of a dad bod. And so we're going to try to force fit it into like evolutionary psychology to make it work.
We talked about this before. What ends up happening is if you were to get pregnant, your pair bonded partner would start to produce what's called prolactin, and he would get fatter because from an evolutionary standpoint, he's going to get less sleep. Evolution has selected he knows he's going to get less sleep, so he has to contract more fat. Does that make sense?
Caloric deficit.
He eats with you too.
Yeah, correct. And he eats with you. So that's what happens. What happens for women from an evolutionary standpoint, their ancestors would see that extra weight and be like, this is a man who's going to stay with me while we take care of the child for the first 3 years. And so what you feel is comfort towards him, not fucking attraction. You don't look at this fat, pasty dude and you're like, my is wet because he's fucking fat and pasty. That is a lie. You feel comfort because you know this motherfucker is going to stay. That's what I'm saying. That was my whole problem, because what happens is you have these super hot girls saying, you know what, I really love the dad bod. And I'm a performance coach, and I'm certain they're trying to teach men to go to the gym. It's like, no, but that girl that FHM model you had on said she likes dad bods. And I'm like, dude, you're just fucking it up for all of us when you do this. But women will say that shit. And again, you can't ask the deer how to catch the deer, right?
Someone's going to do something. I know where you're going to go. Go ahead.
I actually... Dad bods, I mean, it's not that that's attractive to me. What's really attractive to me is humor and the fact that they are comfortable with themselves, even though they know they ain't, they're not a Thunder Down Under guy. That's sexy to me. Like that's hot, that you can live within yourself, even if you're not super fit, and make me laugh.
So how old are you?
I'm 28.
28, 33.
33.
30.
30.
28.
Do you find that the guys that you're attracted to now, maybe your new boyfriend, are different than the guys you
when you were in your early 20s?
When you were in 23, let's just say.
To be honest, I feel like I had it right back in the day.
Really? Wow, what was different?
Because I feel as though you're more primal when you're younger.
So more alpha characteristics is what you're attracted to.
And then through experience and time, you get hurt, and then you want more of the comfort. But then at the end of the day, I don't know, the whole
You want to be primal again?
Yeah, you want to be primal again. The whole ancestor thing that you're talking about. So, I feel like back in the day when everything was primal, like, you'd see a man that was working, like men are hunter-gatherers and women, take care of things, stay at home. If I see a man that works hard and that's built, immediately, like my senses are going. Like, if I see a man that works out, it's like my fucking wet. Yeah. But like if I see a man that, again, coming from what I was just with, that I thought I wanted, nothing. Like I literally went to the doctor because I thought something was wrong with me and that I never wanted to have sex. I never, felt alive. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. And so I'm thinking like, okay, something must be wrong with me. And then you meet the right person that does take care of themselves, that is more masculine, that is more alpha. You want to fuck all the time. So I think, yeah, it just depends. And I think that some women get convinced that they do want the beta, they do want the comfort, they don't want to get cheated on, they don't want a man where all the other women are giving him attention and trying to get with him. You know what I'm saying?
So you do admit that other women being attracted to him is an attraction trigger for you.
Hell yeah.
Be the guy that other men want to be and other women want to fuck.
Have you changed the men that you're attracted to since your early 20s to right now?
I think every person I've ever dated has been completely different. There's not really like a type.
Well, I feel like Natty's just on a journey. She's just been.
No, really, my whole life has just been a journey.
I feel like it's just been one journey.
It started in Yosemite.
Seriously. Natty, you got to come back on. You got some stories. I have a feeling you got some fucking stories. Do you feel like the men that to your early 20s, just out of high school to now, do you feel like the men you're attracted to? Are you attracted to a different type of man now?
Physically, I would say they're all around, like, I have the same, like, physical attraction, like, that hasn't changed, but as far as, like, what I'm looking for personality-wise is completely different.
What's the difference?
So, like, back then, it was more of, like, I just want somebody to have fun with, who, like, I'm just mainly attracted to, want to have sex with all the time, but now I'm looking for somebody who, like, doesn't make me feel, like, it's kind of sad, but like doesn't make me feel like I'm hard to love, like I'm too much, like somebody who is very emotionally mature, can handle me like at my worst times.
Is that part of why? Does it, because you understand? So a lot of guys, I would imagine the guy you're with, because you work with him, understands some of the things that you go through better than the average guy who might be like, oh, you're a cocktail server, you're around rich dudes all the time.
Oh, he's so secure, it's annoying.
Yeah. Okay. So that's you, and you've dealt with the opposite, where he couldn't
100%.
he couldn't deal with it, right?
Yeah. My last ex was like, he was so unhappy that I got. He's like, really? So yeah, it's complete like night and day.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah. When a man's not proud of you, and when they can't handle how much you're doing for yourself, it's the most unattractive thing.
Yeah.
100%.
There's that quote, and it says you either build with a busy man or you babysit a broke one.
Ooh.
And that's real ass shit.
Domo, have you changed?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I was in like since high school and stuff, I was in a 7-year relationship before I got into the adult industry, and I had a hot model guy, and I was into those type of guys. Had a little bit of interesting situations that, he had some offers from rich men that I didn't think that I would ever.
Oh, time out. Before this goes on, have any of you, the three of you, had to deal with this before? Dudes on the down low? No?
What?
But I don't know what that means.
Like secretly gay.
Oh, no.
I mean, maybe, honestly.
They were openly gay.
They were openly gay that you dealt with. You never dealt with that before?
No.
Have you ever dealt with that?
Not openly, but I had suspicions about a couple.
Yeah, suspicions. Go ahead.
It was traumatizing.
Okay.
To find that. And so for me, and it was after like the second one that I was like, yo, I can't, especially in LA, But yeah, so I just, things change. And I think now as I'm a mother, like, finding a man who is stable with, financials, mentality, because, I mean, I'm pretty good at taking care of my daughter, but I need someone that knows how to handle that. And then also, I mean, hey, I need some taking care of after I take care of my daughter. So, yeah,